Hello, मैं अपने वाला host Moa Jamir अपने गान सब के मोला talk show unfiltered ते स्वागत करिया से past 20 years ते अमेरिकन दुनिया पूरा दे internet और financial technology आया पिछे दे media लगा climate shift changes आया दिखी पाइशे कुंतु पूरा news भी किने का disseminate करे इतु तक के भी revolutionize करी दिशे geopolitics ते changes आया rise in regionalism और नूतन global thoughts school कांगे आया पूरा media लगा personality सब भी change करी दिशे इतु एकला नोई गिना media लगा goals और information regulate करिया लगा laws सब भी change हुईशे इदु लगा होमाइदे मोहा लगा नागालैंड लगा स्टेट भी मीडिया लगा स्टेट तो की आसे इदु लगा ओपोजिट डिस्कशन करले मोहा ला पैनल दे आजी मोहा लो दे मिस्टर कल्लोल दे आइना से ताई एक्टर फ्रीलांस जर्नलिस्ट आसे और मिस्टर मोआ जामिर ताई एसोसिएट एडिटर मोरंग एक्सप्रेस लगा से तो थैंक यू सो मच जेंटलमैन फॉर कमिंग टू माय शो मोय इदु मोहा लगा डिस्कशन दो आगे पढ़ाइना मुला फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन दो हमनी के जुले मन जावो सो मोहन इनी इंडिया दे साइशे कुले वर्ल्ड दे साइशे कुले world de media laga environment aru India de thage laga media la environment to kinia different ase
world kole if we talk about world it becomes a little too generalized but hoy Indian media environment shift hoise with it's a recent shift huge shift actually with the television media a certain biasness has crept in all of partiality ai jaise na itu mohan sob dikhi ase media divided hoise itu world te bhi of course if you look at America kote bole bhi those basic things are there the media is divided polarization even media te bhi hoi jaise na society te polarization honi na media te bhi polarization hoi jaise but India la situation of late mohan dikhi hisab te to olop biya phale jai ase media I mean media role play na kuriai dikhi ase mohan
so that's the current state of media in India okay so sir apni bhi tula opode tula view kini ase
tai ko anishina polarization has crept in and since the past few years if you look at it very carefully after the coming of electronic medias the changes has been quite drastic and it is often alleged that some are the mainstream medias at such are becoming more so to say oriented government oriented but if we look at the world I mean mainstream media in the world yes I mean the one that we are quite familiar with the United States the mainstream media is the one who is holding the power that beat accountability. So that's a difference. But having said that, I should say the print media. I mean, they are controlled by the Press Council of India. So in that sense, for me, still there is a hope in the print media. When it comes to questioning the government or holding the power to accountability and also reporting news that is outside the mainstream media.
So when one in the media laws can journalists can follow correctly like we bishi thage there are certain ethics that a journalist or a media house should follow. So India laga de what are some of the media laws that are mostly violated? Idu abdi
see there are some written laws which itu mohan itu kiba bhanai kole to we can be sued we can be pulled up there are some written laws but media never functioned with some fixed laws it's largely unwritten laws that we follow what we call ethics right koa nishna apna first question huda nishna same as itu ase ki ethics mohan that we are the watchdogs right we are the people who tell the general mass public ke koi mohan ki what's happening what the government is doing our place is not to decide pass a ruling decide for everybody we are supposed to place the facts and question the government I think there itu jaga te mohan ekta ethically we are going wrong we are becoming the judge jury and ase aro bishi enaka ase but itu ekta
that's currently happening okay so aro apni bi tula upor de ki view ase
apart from what he said, for me a big concern is invasion of privacy.
Yes.
That's one thing. I mean, and also that trial by media. Media were before. We have seen a lot of cases in most recent cases about the Puliot Laga actor
case.
So that's the some of the issues that has been violated in a way. So I mean, interestingly, last week. I think it was last week, the Mumbai High Court made a very good observation that what the media should do regarding all this while reporting such cases. So that was a sort of good intervention for the media. But as far as my area is concerned, print media, we are under the Press Council of India, and they have certain norms for journalistic practice. Which we tend to follow, but as he said, Taekwondo is there is no hard and fast rule. But the only rule is that you have to be balanced, ethical, and at the same time have a sense of responsibility.
So when we talk about media, to like what is proper journalism? Like how can you define proper journalism, and how can you say that someone is a good journalist? How do you define that?
I don't think there is anything called proper journalism or improper journalism. Basically, we are in such a position that we have to take a stand. Okay. We cannot be, why has what do I have to say about the beef ban? I cannot say that moi beef na khaye. So moi kobo na pare. See, that's the position journalists cannot take. But otherwise, proper journalism, as I said earlier, our work is we are the watchdogs. Our work is to monitor, our work is to report. As long as we are reporting facts, I think we are doing our job. The moment we start playing with facts, they're improper. If you talk about improper, it's about the facts and non-facts, right? It is.
As far as news is concerned, as stated earlier, it should be fair, balanced, and with certain responsibility. Because I mean, we have at the end of the day, what we present is also impactful. So we contextualize issues, and after that, present the issues without diluting the fact.
However it is, whatever it is.
Without diluting the fact, but giving the news in a balanced manner, and also at the same time in a very decent and sober presentation.
So when it comes to newspaper in Nagaland, circulation do kiniga se laro idu circulation la reach ra kiniga public disclosure do impact kre.
I think for me, circulation as of the newspaper in Nagaland, I mean, one cannot give a definite numbers to that. But with the arrival of digital medias and all these electronic platforms and social media platforms, I should say the impact has increased a lot. And at the same time, itu ahawaram one give a responsibility that because with the arrival of internet and digital news platform, proliferation of fake news is
adding to that social media I hear like is it a threat to print media? Because any social media de mo news ki I will say mo ini aite dikhilo ki hoise khuli so do you think it's a threat to the print media?
For me they are complementary. And as such, now for a print media, print media so for me now the era of breaking news is gone. Now the era of breaking news is gone because itia ki hoye aro itia documents ekta ni WhatsApp ti pai jai or it is posted in the social media. But what mogan responsibility to key as a professional journalism, we have to give an informed information opinion to the public, contextualize issues, and go beyond the breaking news. So more depend on analytical.
To abnile otula opode ki view ase.
I completely agree with him. But this thing, print media te ekta shift aise, as you said that those days of breaking news.
Okay.
It's not only TV or web that that is print media was this thing of breaking news. So our days of breaking news is gone. We have to accept that. Itu to hosa ase. So but actually I welcome that, because now see, print has depth.
Okay.
We have time. Social media, electronic media,
okay.
It's basically who is faster. Print has time, print has got depth.
Okay.
So I don't think any form of media can actually threaten print in that way.
Okay.
All right. Of course, like analytical, now we are pushing towards that. And I think the public deserves more.
Okay.
You know,
so you're saying
beyond breaking news.
Okay.
Okay, public deserves more, a more well researched piece.
Okay.
You know, yeah.
Okay, so you're saying when it comes to digital media or things like that, it's about like it's about like speed. But then when it comes to print, it comes with more depth. That's what you're trying to say.
Yeah.
Okay.
Obvious, because we see, for a television media it's like who hits it first, right?
Okay.
But see, again, print, now we have to understand ki now print is not purely print either.
Okay.
Yes.
We go online,
yeah.
right? So of course there is that race even in print when it comes to
okay.
all print editions are online basically. But yes, print has got more depth, and I don't think, as he said, I agree with him, it's complementary. Social media is complementary, it doesn't really threaten.
Okay. So again, adding up to that, how is like media, media working in the digital space? Like how have we caught up to it, or have we?
In Nagaland?
Yes, in Nagaland. If yes, how, and if no, why?
Means conventional media, has it caught up?
Yeah.
I think we are lagging behind.
Okay.
I think we are lagging behind. It's very recently, you know what, Twitter is the platform for professionals the world over. Okay. Nagaland, forget media. Nagaland is still very new to Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay. Even politicians are very recently coming on Twitter, and media, I think, is really lagging behind.
Okay.
We don't use Twitter as much.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not promoting Twitter here,
Yeah.
but you know that as a platform.
Yeah.
We have a lot to catch up on.
Okay.
We have a lot to catch up on when it comes to digital media,
Okay.
Shifting from the conventional.
Okay.
We still think, and that's why probably, you know, even social media groups ase na yede Nagaland te.
Yeah.
Probably it's when I don't blame anybody, they have just taken up the space that we left.
Okay.
It's taking time for us to move into digital.
Okay.
So that's how the social media groups are, along which comes the risk of fake news and
Yeah. Okay. Mr. Kallol Ramuange explain kudaishi ki media do digital space te catch up hoishina nai kuna hodi dagishe to moi tia itu same question do Mr. Moage hodiole mon jawa.
Type 1 is now to moi agree kore, but at the same time I like to add that the unfortunate arrival of COVID pandemic has been a blessing in disguise for the traditional media in Nagaland.
Okay.
So since then, the media is facing a lot of challenges, including stoppage of printing.
Yeah.
But somehow I should say, since last March, we are, transcending to the social media in a better way.
Okay.
And I think that's a very progressive step.
Okay. So when it comes to more Nagaland news, as new social media arrival Instagram wiki media like Facebook, Instagram like fake news spread like bishi easy ho jai. So like what is the impact of fake news on media or the society? Aru mon idu fake news to kiniga kuna kila mechanism ra mon fake news to spread how to stop kre.
Fake news Nagaland noy, India noy,
yes,
pura world te. It has become one of the biggest, that's a pandemic we have been facing, and it's becoming worse every day. Of course, bishi organization khan itia fake news bust kurole kam kuri ase.
Okay.
Dedicated newsrooms are getting dedicated fake news kiba kura team khan paise. Nagaland te iman ki biya thakili bi Nagaland te itia tak ekta bhaldo fake news itia tak iman biya bara impact to kora nai na. Aru mohalla society chutu ase sob ke chine ina ekta na. That is which actually works against us in journalism, that our society is so close knit. this is actually a blessing in disguise when it comes to fake news.
Okay.
Nagaland te itya tak bi fake news laga problem timan dangor nohoy.
Okay.
Na hole bi hoy ase. Aro iyate fake news baharte fake news is being used specifically to target and all. Iyate problem to fake news is social media la problem iyate ekta ase. We do things for likes.
Okay.
Kiman like pabo. Na? So sometimes the fake news it doesn't come with a lot of malice, like it's more innocent in that way.
Okay.
But fake news is fake news. Kinega tackle kurubo kole to social media people have to be really the administrators of groups. I'm talking very locally now.
Okay.
They have to be really aware of it because there are laws, they can go behind bars.
Okay. True.
Okay.
Yeah.
They have to understand ki it's not a joke. With whether it's social media or print media, the moment you have a reach, you have a responsibility.
Yeah.
Okay. So fake news itya tak bhi mohalla Nagaland media ke to iman tak to travel na kurna ase.
Okay.
Na hole bi social olop kurna to hoy ase aro social media and media ekta connect with the rest of the country and the world, which was probably missing a decade back. Okay. That connect has happened now. Okay. So because of that idu mohan koi na bahar la movie khan para itu bara mohan la yate culture impact hone na same thing is happening when it comes to fake news and all. But yes, thankfully it's not yet such a big problem in Nagaland.
Okay. तो अपनी भी तुला ऊपर देखिए से agree करिए कि fake news तो नागालैंड में नहीं कुना अपनी
yeah, in a way.
Okay.
But in a later veins, itu ajali one newspaper says you little itu Facebook the boss korena apologize kora bishi dikhiyo. That has been a phenomenon in the recent years. So that means, as he said, ulop to ISC. No? But if we look at the fake news to ki karne hole Twitter motive take. One is ulterior motive, political motive. The other is just to earn money through clickbait. So that's it. But so far, the fake news phenomena described by the WHO Secretary General as an infodemic has not reached Nagaland much. But still, whatever yati kuri tagado, it's not with any motive, but people just want to share it for instant gratification.
No, it has a likes. Basically, most of the time I don't think the people who are posting it know anything about that. It's about like itu post kurle, itu manu laga itya let's say Alobo Naga or Teso sisters. If I put something, immediately I'm getting more attention. The hashtag thing. Okay. But yeah, type one is na itu ulterior motive laga, again I'll stress that is much less. And yes, another thing is when it comes to this apologies, not all are again fake news. We are asked to apologize a bit too fast out here. So that phenomena is actually but yeah, all the apologies are not because of fake news. Some of the apologies are because it's a genuine news and it was not supposed to come out.
So mo na do fake news la upon social media. Mo let's talk about keyboard warriors. So mo do we like how would you define like any keyboard warriors to kininga define kuro?
Ito do I mean, your keyboard warrior we the keyboard is our bread and butter. Okay. So I don't know. I seriously cannot comment on the keyboard warriors. Of course, as we said, again, everything is related. It's basically about self gratification. Nijor ke, it's just like it's a very narcissistic attitude. Moi mirror te nijor ke saigina khushi pa manu ke mati kina moi ke sabi na. Are they genuinely interested? Okay. Now, keyboard warrior is a negative term as far as my understanding goes, right? But there's a thing with them. Are these people really interested in what's happening in the society? Okay. Or are they just there to make noise, create noise pollution on social media? Okay. So, I think that sweeping statement that keyboard warriors, I won't give it. I won't say it that way. We need. Everybody. Not everybody will go out on the streets and march on a protest. Now, some will be sitting at home and giving statements, putting up stuff. Some will be out on the street. Some will be, facing the tear gas. So, a sweeping statement, as I said, it's taken as a negative term. I don't think it should be that way. I mean, there are people who actually sit with the keyboard as we say keyboard warriors and go flurry on the means dhamadam likhabaji kori na but tahan influence kore ajikali la time te tahan la influence ase we talk about Arab Spring and everything see it will impact hoya ase etia to so unless and until somebody just doesn't do it for the number of likes or just to earn some money
then it's
we need keyboard we need keyboard warriors
so apni itu law par ki view ase
yeah I mean I completely agree with what he's saying for me a keyboard warrior I mean is the default default impact of the proliferation of the digital media so yeah keyboard warrior I mean in Nagaland in the case of Nagaland mohan bhi dikhi ase we have popular social media platform Naga social media platform right the Naga blog the Naga Spears and so on and so far but the only differentiation that I can say is that tui abuni itu laga issue re genuinely kiba korena tui are you commenting on that's a very important question and it's a very important democracy so often it is seen that Nagaland social media re beshi halla gori thakibo hulibi idu aji idu protest thakibo noile if there is an initiative often idu mohan coverage cha time le itu tikena I mean the people are not willing to come out
they don't turn up
out of their seats their hot seats so to say so that's a negative impact but at the same time yeah there are some positive impact also
now to add to you it like the means if you talk about Nagaland our keyboard warriors are like they jump on issues and they're as fast coming into the issue jumping into the issue and similarly they disappear from the issue with the same speed that's a problem that's a real problem of course because of these keyboard warriors I think we have become a little more alert okay because we take time a lot of times to be very honest social media in Nagaland impact biya to ase de bishi ase but at the same time I think they helped us pull up our socks too because a lot of times I found out ki I as a journalist with all my network and connections I have no clue and I mean by the time I'm trying to get the news the social media is already all over there but again the problem is Kwanishna too quick to jump in and then they disappear they make light of situations ekta gravity ekta issue laga ituke takan halka kuri de na
edu question hole hodule mon jaise to Nagaland laga news so is it crowdsourced or are we like too dependent on external sources edu apni itu la opor ki comment ko
external sources as in
does India like agency like pahala agency khan lo de like
yes sadly yes we are dependent on external sources but of course that's not that has changed a lot now okay we are reporting locally a lot we have as you said crowdsourced we don't use the term but yeah we are doing and we are shifting earlier say 15 years back of course there was local but we really depended on agencies a lot more okay that is changing now as with basically digital media information comes in various ways we have so yes I think there's a shift a shift has been happening
so apni itu law por ki ko
often it is said that Nagaland la newspaper to copy paste kore that's a very this is the common practice all over of the news organization all over the world because you can't have your correspondent all over the world and Nagaland media kan all resource crunch kana se so they can have correspondent even in the national news and international news too mohan Paraguay agency role that it doesn't mean that we are just copy pasting we are paying money for that we are paying the news agency for that so that's not a copy paste news at the same time contents are improving in the last few years so and with the arrival of instant media social media complementary, acting as complementary to each other. I mean, the contents are getting better.
Tomorrow, what Julie Munchao, ido Nagaland de mohan media kan ra face kore challenges kan, tangible challenges kan do ki ase. If you could make it short and define.
Yeah, I mean, in a way, as discussed, one is fake news.
Okay.
Fake news, and one discuss the edition how is fake news created?
Okay.
Fake news is created when there is a void of information.
Yes.
So we have to fill that up, and in that way, I mean, I have one to highlight even the governmental agencies, government, the police, the other governmental agencies, they should also fill the void.
Okay.
We should say that Timor police can active as actually. I mean, since the last few years about clarifying a news, instant clarification. So that's a very important steps.
Okay.
So that way the space for fake news is been erased, and that's recommended globally. That's recommended globally. The second is obviously circulation. I mean, the financial challenges. So financial challenges in a way. Now, newspaper kan the horizontal circulation chance. I mean, it's very limited. What we can do is vertical integration. That is integrating different social media platform and try to benefit out of that. Now, if we look at Nagaland is one of the who are the most important advertiser. So the most important advertisers are the government, the various government department.
Okay.
But sadly, I should say, tagan to advertise to really paisa chibuli there is a lack, and the government has a standing order that every advertisement should be routed through state IPR, information and public relation. But any department no central scheme department it can follow no. And so, and most of the time advertise ulagina tagan power so there should be a systematic this thing, and because of that I think there are a lot of pending bills from the government, and for small organization, news organization in Nagaland, even few lakhs, even 1 lakh or 2 lakhs matters a lot. So that's another challenge. You can add to that.
Yeah,
he has already covered the financial aspect, and I completely agree and see. The government should, healthy media is a sign of a healthy society. The government should strengthen the media. Instead, it's keeping us, malnourished rather. And that we should be. It's a very serious issue, because that when conventional media, when tried and tested media houses are not able to function, there creeps in other elements. There creeps in the fake news problem and everything. And of course, the question that you asked, I can go on probably the whole night, because problems we face a lot. Starting from the reporter to the editor to the as a media house. Now, recently what has been is government has put a muzzle. Muk bond kori dishe. Media ke directly no hai. Hole government agency khan ke police lot jaile to like truck accident hoise olop din age. Ekta reporter पुलिस के जाएगी ना हुदिशे उतो कोन तो पुलिस स्टेशन लांडर আছে তাকে যাইনা हुदिशे না আপনি পিআর হলতে যাব লাগে না ট্রাক অ্যাক্সিডেন্ট হইছে দুইটা মানুষ জখম খাইছে ইতু কবলে কি তান আছে না you have a PRO system, everybody has a PRO system, but in Nagaland that is being, I think, abused to a great extent. Now what happens is that when this trusted media, see, we are not social media. Social media ko na likhi na delete korna bachi ho pare de. We do something, we give a wrong news, we can be dragged to the court. So we are very sensitive to that. Now the government with the muzzle has actually is actually promoting fake news, because by the time we get our hands on the news, social media is different versions. Social media that is one big challenge that media is facing now, especially during the COVID time. Government put a muzzle, so everything is like, I'll tell you of an incident. I won't name, but a reporter recently went to meet a high government official, a very high government official, and we used to go knock on the door and meet, till a few years ago. That reporter was told, you have to take an appointment through DIPR, and there is no standing rule as such. And the public they are waiting ki itu khobor loi kina dibo and it's a clarification ঠিক আছে তো itu একটা clarification one sentence clarification dibole itu that you know too many protocols and red tapes that's one thing and if you're talking about I'll you know as I said বেশি কব পারে তাই ফাইনান্সিয়াল অ্যাসপেক্ট কই আমি একটা আমি পয়েন্ট আউট করলে মন যাও নাগাল্যান্ডে মিডিয়ালা সবচেয়ে ডাঙর একটা চ্যালেঞ্জ আছে ট্রাইবালিজম okay I'll say how people will think how it affects see I am a non-Naga right I have been practicing journalism for about 19 years I am somehow spared of that but of course I get different allegations now I feel for my Naga colleagues now if let's say our colleague reports about another tribe you know it becomes a tribal issue it is not it's nothing personal to do with him okay so this tribalism thing I mean I don't know how many people actually understand it impacts reporters are apprehensive ki itu khan lagi ase ami likhile to kobo itu means ami khan all of din age ekta jhamela hoise itu aru drag kor lobo itu kotha to you getting me and this culture of summoning people here to be very honest criticism all of lobo na pare they love when others are criticized okay they'll abuse us to the fact I'll say abuse ki tumi khan media khan kam na kore itu sob itu koi de but the moment it's like kam na kore mane taila neighbor la ghore kiba ekta chule ase itu report kora nai the moment I go reporting about that person itu to thik na itu you getting me so this culture of you know whether it's the ho-hos or the student even the students union summon okay media has been summoned a lot of times I can tell you of an incident sometime back it happened near Chumugdima which I can't exactly remember the place now something was reported and kiba letra hoy kina kiba ekta something was reported and the reporter was summoned ki ami laga jaga badnam kuri ase again sometime back ekta dead body I am telling you how silly it is itu jaga te dead body paise na to utu area la manu to ne kile ami khan la jagala naam colony la khel laga bosti la naam ulai dise itu dead body ami khan la tate paha to ami khan badnam na this really hinders reportage this really hinders
so you can say that the society is very sensitive that it hinders
overtly sensitive really too sensitive
yeah at the same time there are very socio-economic political and religious challenges to the media we cannot elaborate all of this them now but that also become a very big challenge also the protracted Naga political issue is also another factor
when you talk about covering sensitive issues like which I don't want to mention but we all know so like what are the you know tade key problems thage media as a media face kriya
so looking at the challenges as it's is one is the conflict the attack of conflict area another one is okay now it also becomes a justification for the journalists not to do their work sometimes at times but there's a big political question another thing is that people speak about investigative journalism nai Nagaland na itu bishikwe we hear that a lot but if I go to him to get some information no one will be willing to talk officially
exactly
so that's a big problem we accept that there is also technical difficulties also because many are not trained to do such delicate work also but at the same time information and if one is not willing to justify the story how can we do a story so that's a very big issues
no everybody wants us to do the story all right but if you go to them tell us what's happening ami nakobo ala ke hodibi so I mean that blame game has been going and another thing is we are talking about Naga political issue there is nothing sensitive to hide about it I'm telling you how media was caught you know there was a time I seriously can't keep a track of the factions that are there now which is called which all right now there was a time when we were you know I will say this group or that group will say mohanla bi NSCNG parent utu bi NSCNG parent na kile itu likha nai na now we are writing for the this thing, the readers, right?
Yeah.
Now I have to make the readers understand कि इतो innocent GPRN और उतो innocent, these are two different groups. So this group press release दिशे. Now everybody, there was a time everybody wanted कि इन्हें कहीं लिखो लगा मिखाला nomenclature. Moa, if you seen that time? नहीं, we were under pressure. Press release आए, तो मोहन तो तखान तो press release जैसे we know who is it coming from, right? Now we have to put it out to public कि this group has given.
Okay.
So this group next day calls up and says, किले तखान लगा innocent GPRN लिखी जाए, किले मोहन ला innocent GPRN लिखा नहीं, ना? And vice versa.
Yeah.
It's not just one group, every group. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, those are problems we face. I mean, there is no what can we do?
Yeah.
Seriously.
For me, in recent years, there is more problem with about the nomenclature, about itu kila naga political group as na itu ekta ase. Pressure wise, it has gone down a lot. I mean,
Pressure has gone down a lot.
At the same time, if there is other side, there is also another side. State actors also are there. I mean, if you remember in 2015, some Nagaland newspaper, they completely they publish a blank editorial, five newspaper, and it was in response to a direction from the certain security forces. So, but at the same time now, with both sides of this thing debate, I think the situation has improved a lot.
Improved a
but
lot.
at the same time, challenges remain.
Okay.
Yeah.
But you know what? Here we have to thank the social media, because these pressures that were coming, now these pressure groups, whether it's the state or non-state, these pressure groups know that even if we don't, it's already out on social media, it's already out on Facebook or somewhere. And people are already reading about it. So in that way, I think we should thank the keyboard warriors, as you say.
Feel less pressurized as a journalist. Okay, so Moa Nagaland do journalist Moa journalist kana skills to kini ase? Is it like, and if it's high, like how is it reflected in the output? Or if it's low, then why is it low?
Moa,
yeah, maybe you can go first. Yes.
For me, I will speak for the organization establishment and I'm associated with. We can say that, yeah, we have made a drastic change gradually how we present news, more into issue-based writing, analytical business, because now we have Morung Express to breaking news, but we have to contextualize issues. Even national news also. Itu news law nagamano ki kine affect kore, or even the world news. Itu contextualize kore. And yeah, I mean, with my colleague, I'm quite, satisfied with the work. I mean, we can do many more things, but yeah.
So I think you want to add?
Actually, Mohan laga problem, local media la problem ekta ase. Our perspective is very limited. Na, amikhan see no incidents kun ki hoye yate na. It could be isolated no. None of us are isolated as people, like island te thaka no do. So Mohan la local media ekta problem which has persisted for long is that we write very locally, contextualize or perspective. You know that it's our connect. It's like that we talk about that chicken's neck, the Siliguri thing, how Northeast is disconnected. I think mentally somewhere journalism here, itu disconnected ta thakise ki dangor perspective te story to dhalibo na pare. Na, itu improve to hoy ase. Our in the last few years, I am actually seeing a lot more improvement in that. Itu ekta dangor mohalla lacking to ase local journalism te perspective te dangor perspective te dhalibo na pare.
So why do you think it's lacking? Skills lies up to Saishugli, why?
I think it's skills lies up to Saishugli. We don't actually have a lot of trained journalists. Of course, I don't put much this thing on journalism schools and all. Journalists, I believe, are made on the field. It's got more to do with our lack of exposure. Not as a journalist only, as a person. The more you go out, you think in a bigger way. Bahar de jaya se apni duniya hisab te bhabibo. Apni nijor ghor par ula nai কি ভাবিব আপুনি একদম লোকালি ভাবিব আপুনি ভাবিব কি দুনিয়া কতে বি এনেকা নহয় মোখানি এইটো প্ৰব্লেম ফেচ কৰে ৰাস্তা বিয়া ইয়াতে আছে গ'লে তো কি কয় ইউকেতে যালিবি তাতে কোনোবা ৰাস্তা বিয়া থাকিব না আই থিংক ইটছ গট মোৰ টু ডু উইথ আৱাৰ lack of exposure as people okay then of course as journalists too and probably not probably I think we were discussing earlier reading habit komti ase as even for journalists I think we read very less I think that's somehow mohan laga itu broaden scope broaden koribole digdar hoy ase
so amni tade kiba add up khole mun jawa
for me in the past few years itu dependence on press releases and even based reporting has been one of the drawbacks but the arrival of the pandemic in a way has changed that it has it is propelling us to move out of our comfort zone and explore new areas because since last year March even the press releases are very now with the advent of social media all the press releases are by tonight or when it is published it's there on the WhatsApp or on the social media so we have to go beyond that aro asti one itu jayase and so that's a positive step for me
ki muhala Nagaland dewi muha journalists kando are they respected yes
not maybe as much as respect we should get but
to a certain level
journalists expect I mean I will always want more respect and he'll also always want more respect so
abni itu la porde ki babe
I don't know dialogue ini agree with I think but they need more than they deserve I mean বেছি লাগে
আৰু লাগে I think journalists laga itu recognition আৰু respect of course আমি খান কি কৰে এইটো ওপৰতে বি আছে it's reciprocal but yes journalists খান respect আৰু অলপ পাইলে ভালো না কি
for me na it's like understanding of journalism I mean the works and understanding of journalism is a little bit lacking maybe that's why you respect la
so as journalism as journalism as a profession in Nagaland is it respected then
again the understanding is lacking journalism as a profession I don't think it's really that much respected yet we don't see let's cut down even people who join journalism we don't see the the people who are really doing good academically and they take up journalism there are very few who really take up journalism with the love for journalism and the respect for journalism in that way I think journalism la understanding and respect all of kumti ase it's not I'm not generalizing there are a lot of people who are into journalism because they love it but it's like again it's a second third choice alagte hua nai government job hua nai to journalist ho jaise
sab ni tu la porde ki kole mun chawa
I should like to thank that they are respected
but
so and I still believe that they deserve more respect than currently they are enjoying but at the same time as I said earlier agiri ko nishna understanding kurado journalism understanding kurado olo parai ase etia
to do understanding la opore Nagaland laga ekta ni galti notion like that the Naga people have about media or journalism what is the wrong notion what is one wrong notion that they have
itu ko nishna copy paste copy paste is one it is not absolutely copy paste in that way and second thing that mohan investigative journalism na kore hoye mohan lacking to ase we don't hit out as hard as we should we don't challenge the government on specifics we do we lack I accept that but we have to understand we have a lot of restraints under a lot of restraints mohan bichi pressure te aru ki debe kam kore aru koa nishena society ki as a media itula reflection ase do na to investigative journalism na kore age mohan koa nishena করে না করে তো নহয় দে মোহন লাগা রিস্ট্রেইন থাকা হিসাবতে ইনভেস্টিগেটিভ জার্নালিজম হয়ে আছে and I see the scene improving okay But there lies the problem. Ki kenega kuru?
Okay.
Mokhala lack to azuli kena kuru if people don't open their mouths.
Okay.
All right. So one of the things is Nagaland investigative reporting nai mane komti ase mane but ekdom nai ito to misa ase. Good stories have been done, good exposures have been done. Okay. But people also have to reciprocate. The society, the people we write for. Okay. Takhan bhi to kiba you know. So yeah.
Okay. Sabni to law ki.
Yes, as noted earlier, public support to be important. For example, if you are writing an investigative stories, tweet laga story impact ekta paisi to you will be motivated
to write
do more. But if you look at, for example, every year CAG report online, highlighting various irregularities and anomalies in the various government departments. Okay. There is a deafening silence from general public. Okay. There is no reaction to the story. True. Whenever a story about corruption is highlighted, response to ikunai. So it's better we do a story about somebody doing viral on social media, human interest story, the so-called human interest story. So that's one thing. Another thing is that, okay, journalism as an industry is struggling. So obviously the remuneration, journalists can remuneration, but it's, comparatively it's quite low if we compare it to national media. And so for that, without public support pi nai, salary bi kom di pai ase. Itu time di to journalists la motivation to look to affect ho jayega. So that's a big issue also.
Na itu to na I have been working for these many years and moi nijor story bishi kori jay. One thing that really disappoints na ki somebody dresses very well, a guy dresses very well and goes to meet his woman, and the woman doesn't, or you get a haircut and your husband or your boyfriend doesn't even notice that you have. It's same thing happening to us. We put in a lot of effort, and as you said, paisa motivation to naide jate. We are badly paid. So korea karna kore do. Next din all of the hala chila hobo. There is hardly any response. Public want it, but people don't respond. Now a story we do it, and konoba ekta dute jagate hala chila hobo pare. Okay, Morung Express kori diya lada, but people don't pursue it. People don't protest. Outside, people get on the streets protesting after certain investigative stories come out. Right? I completely agree with him. That thing actually kills our motivation to do it. It's better to go and do some musician laga ekta story. Itu kani bishi chole. Musician la story kurbo nale konoba ekta cook korala story kurbo. That's
achievement.
Achievements.
So that is actually has the role of journalism in Nagaland satisfied the demand for justice, accountability, or public disclosure?
Can you come once again?
Yeah. Has the role of journalism in Nagaland satisfied the demands for justice and accountability and public disclosure?
Not completely.
Okay.
Not completely. As Mohan we have a long way to go. We do a lot of stuff. We are delivering. But yes, we can do better.
There's always room for improvement.
Not just improvement. There are ways. We have to. We are lacking in certain things. I always agree. Okay, but at the same time we are doing, and I don't think we are doing that bad a job either. Okay, we are not doing that bad a job. The media in Nagaland is not doing that bad a job, and especially I'm very happy. In the last few years, things are actually improving. Okay.
For me, one of the biggest contribution of the media in Nagaland is that giving a platform, giving a voice to the voiceless. So that serves the justice process of the newspaper. Again, inform and authentic information. That's the second. Holding the power that be the accountability. We are doing that in a way to some extent. But at the same time, I should say, given the challenges that we have, I mean, we have done some commendable jobs.
Tuni manuga la public la notion ase ke Nagaland la media do it has never been independent. Ini ase. So like, is it a valid criticism or itu law pade? What is independent journalism then?
Independent journalism in today's world, independent journalism, I think it's getting very pushed to the wall. Okay, of course, there are a lot of media houses which are coming up now. They work on crowdfunding. All right.
Okay.
There is independent journalism, no doubt. But Nagaland te independent journalism no hai koha to gulti hobo.
Okay.
See, Nagaland laga situation is it's not like most big cities. Okay. It is a situation we have to always take with a large pinch of salt actually. Independent no hai, if somebody says, I would like to question them ki independent kinaga no hai. Na?
Okay.
Because no Ambani's or Adani's own this thing. Of course, ase means some media house is owned by some who has, you know.
Okay.
But by and large, I think Nagaland media has been independent.
Okay.
I think I can say that.
I should say quite independent as far as news items and editorial content is concerned. At the same time, financially we struggle. So if you are struggling financially, that means it goes to show that you are not being influenced by anyone.
Okay.
So at times, views to depending on who is reading the news, interpreting the news, they might have certain perception about, oh, it's a newspaper itu asi, it's a newspaper itu asi. Okay. As far as content wise is concerned, I should say they are quite independent.
Okay. So Mary, a question to media in Nagaland, is it the voice of the people, or is it the voice of the government, or is it the medium?
The very fact, media is the voice. I mean, media Nagaland, it's the voice of the people. Okay. No doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. Give and take, whatever we are missing out on, whatever we are unable to, and whatever we are achieving. Okay. But there is no doubt about it. We have been, as Moa had said earlier, we have given voice. We are making voices heard. Right. Okay. Media in Nagaland. In totality, media in Nagaland, there is a lot of room for improvement, no doubt. But under all the restraints and constraints, I think bhalkam kuriya.
Okay.
And adding to that, whatever the challenges may be, if you are running a news organization, you need to have editorial independence. Your decision should not be influenced by anyone. Okay. And editorial independence, I think so far we are maintaining. And I should say I feel happy that new media, new platform are coming up. And Nutun just the case of Hornbill TV. Itu time TV, such process should be followed.
So media houses can really institutions can, including schools. Like when it comes to journalism laga opore like ini youths can get interest kore hule udu zeal do ani hule tahan iku promote kore na iku create na nai
nai itu to bishi komti ase. I said ki journalism is actually very much yete journalism schools khan te educational system te career guidance mela khan bishi thake apni khan bi jani ase. In very very few have I seen where journalism as a career was discussed. Okay. The same thing goes, I'm telling you, that's why I said ki Nagaland all of alag ase. Same thing goes with art too. Art as a career. So journalism as a career, I don't think the schools or the educational institutions are really looking, means takhan address korea ase. Kore na kore no hai, but itya tak to second, third, fourth choice nishina ase. Yate kiman journalist ase itya. I think most bishibak to journalist school para aha noy na আৰু তাখানকে স্কুলতে জাৰ্নালিজম মিন্স এনকাৰেজ কৰিছে এইটো কাৰণে আহা নহয় নিজৰ লা ইণ্টাৰেষ্টে আহা আছে না কৰে journalism doesn't get that boost.
Someone are like, what is importance of quality journalism to KSA? What is the importance of quality journalism? Aro mohala state TV ini quality journalism promote kurle ki kuru lage?
Manula mentality change kuru lage. Quality journalism promote kurle journalist khan whether is the salary. See, let me be honest. People question, I know, journalists can ethically, many of us probably ethically, we are compromising ourselves a lot of times. I will not deny that. But you have to also understand that ultimately it's, it boils down to survival.
Okay.
I think journalism needs a boost if people are paid more.
Okay.
Okay, that's important. And paid money, when can the publisher pay me? If it's a circulation, but largely the the money to the print, the media houses come through advertisements. Now, if the government holds back bills, doesn't give us ads, okay, we become weak. The moment we don't have the genuine source, mohan alag rasta bisarole nishina hoi jay na. So government ite bill clear na kuribo, ads komti kuri diya ase na. So itu bada compromise hoi jay journalism.
Okay.
Na? So journalist khan ke I think training, even I actually the editors too, the publisher editors, it's journalism is not just it's not this business, the reporters, I think they should be trained more. They should be given exposure. They should be sent for baharte exchange program karne pothabo lage na. Publisher hobi, editor khan hobi, mane the owners khan, malik khan, takhan itu means journalism improve koro gole takhan la opor ase. Ekta reporter ke ekta field test ki ko expert hobo dibole na. Mane itu ke iate bi pothabo, tate bi pothabo, 10 ta kam korabo. To utu manu to 10 years kam kora pisite bi ekta particular field te knowledge na thake. And the world over now, even in journalism, everything is becoming very macro, specialized. Even journalists, just like doctors and everything, journalism is becoming very subject specialized now. So mohan layate beshi haphazard ase, to be very honest. The reporters khan ki khan takhan ke they don't get adequate training na pae na, motivation na pae. Itu khan beshi dorkar ase journalism yete uthabo gole na.
Okay. So amji bi dade kiba add up korle mon jabo.
Apart from monetary consideration, you do constantly honing your trade, upgrading your trade, which the journalist must, the concerned journalist, and the management and the publisher slash editor, whoever it may be, they should also encourage that. So itu environment to daga nai bole do. I mean, there's no, you will just go to even reporting and just live like that. And nowadays there are a lot of avenues available for journalists who want to pursue, upgrade their skills on their own. It was going back to what attractiveness of journalism as it is, as discussed. Nagaland I think now there are three colleges offering journalism now, apart from including the diploma course in Nagaland University. So I should say it's suddenly picking up, and hopefully it will improve with the proliferation of arrival of new entertainment and news media. Things will improve the best.
Okay. He said, thank you so much, Amni Jungui.
Thank you.
It was a pleasure having you guys. Aro icha ase ke moala viewers bi Nagaland de moala state of media do kinya ase to la opode aro detailed information paina thakibo aro future de bi moan kinya wina journalism ge moan aro quality journalism ge uthawo itu la opode tam bishi kina thakibo na icha ase. Thank you so much once again. Aji garni mani hobo aro sai thakibi Hornbill TV. Can you please introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yeah, my name is Mishanli Isrina Yanta. Tyrannosaurus means spiked lizard.
5 years from now, what do you want to achieve?
Well, I want to achieve my dream. To the writers, to who wants to become writers, you have to believe in yourself.